Hawk, is it an overreaction to say that Buffalo's defense will cost them a shot at the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go overreaction.
Wow.
I think this is a moment in time. I think Matt Milano coming back, he is knocking a bunch of rust off, which will help them in their run defense when he gets back up to speed. I think they're still talented. I think they're a great coach on the defensive side in Bobby Babbage, and I think they figure it out as the season winds down and into the playoffs.
And honestly, how many teams are you going to face that can make that catch that Puka Nacua keeps making on replay that we keep showing here? So, Bills, they were riding high, as hot as anybody, going to L.A., and they give up 44 points. Bad game or bad sign?
I mean, I think it's a bad sign because of the way that they lost and the opponents that they have to face in the AFC. As much as I like the way the Bills have been playing, and of course, the sky is the limit when you have Josh Allen, but the issue that they have with stopping the run is a problem. A lot of the teams in the AFC that they're going to have to beat, they focus on running the ball really well, and they're effective at that. And then their defense breaks down. Once they can't stop the run, then they have to commit a safety to a box, and this team is not built to be in single high all game long.
We should just talk about the passing. That's what Dan wants to talk about. Don't worry about the
What about the receivers, Jeff?
How about this problem? They gave up a block punt, and they had a terrible coaching decision. This is a bad sign. It wasn't just a bad game. And the week before, if McCaffrey doesn't get hurt, McCaffrey had dang near 100 yards in the first quarter, running right down the middle of that defense. You better figure this thing out. And I love the Bills. You do not, and I've been on some really good teams, you do not want to be going this way or going flat as you're entering the playoffs, because everybody else sees that, and it's like a blood in the water for a shark, bro. It is on. They will see weakness, and they will attack it. They better figure this out in a hurry these next 4 weeks.
I think the concern, to your point, is some of the in-game stuff. Like, the special teams are an issue. Even on the last, punt where they run the clock out, they only had 9 guys on the field.
Right.
Those are more issues that if you're going into the playoffs, you want well-coached football teams who are giving you the best chance to win a football game, very much like Josh Allen, who, again, he had one of the best games that we've seen all season long. They scored 40-plus points. To lose that game, that's terrible. And also the clock management, timeout management. You remember the Texans game where they threw 3 straight times and give the Texans a chance to win a football game? They're going to be close when the playoffs come around. You have to make sure you are matching the level of play from your all-star quarterback.
Okay. So, I think we're being a little extreme here, man. Are there concerns? Absolutely. Are there concerns for every single team in the NFL? Absolutely. Isn't it concerning that the Chiefs, every single game, they need some sort of last-second moment for them to win? Isn't it concerning that the Baltimore Ravens defense has been getting torched? Isn't it concerning that the Philadelphia Eagles have this issue with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts? Isn't it concerning that the Detroit Lions are decimated on defense, having 14, 15 guys on IR or whatever the number is? Aren't all these things concerning? All the top teams have concerning issues. A bad sign to me is like too extreme of a phrase. A bad sign is like a bad omen of things to come. Right? You can have some concerns and things that you need to fix. But again, in terms of coaching decisions, well, we already know Sean McDermott isn't this amazing coach in that regard. He's not a top coach in the NFL, especially not a top offensive coach in the NFL. So yeah, some of his decision making and game management is not going to be great. Giving up a lot of points to the Rams. First off, some of those points were because of obviously the block punt, which then led to a touchdown. Some of it was because you needed Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp to make insane catches, absolutely insane catches that were just heroics. Honestly, if Josh Allen didn't have such an amazing game and a historic game himself, the talk of the town would have been oh my God, look at Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford. We know Matthew Stafford is elite. Cooper Kupp is elite. Puka Nacua is elite. Sean McVay is elite. Give him an O-line, and that team is going to be able to hang 40-plus points. That's what they're going to be able to do. So I'm so less concerned about this. Going into games like this, I said this when the Rams played the Eagles. I said this when, I'm trying to think of another quick example, but I can't off the top of my head. Oh, the Bengals versus, I think, also the Eagles, where I was like, man, those guys are going to get points. When you're talking about Joe Burrow, Stafford, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Puka Nacua, Cooper, like those guys are going to get their points. They're going to get their yards. They're going to get their targets. They're going to get their catches. They're going to get their touchdowns. That's what those guys do, man, no matter who you're playing. That's what they do. That's what they do. It's like when you're playing LeBron James, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, those guys are going to get their buckets, man. You can still beat their team, but they're going to get their buckets. They're going to get their 30 points. We know that. So yeah, that's what the Rams have on offer. That's the reality. So yeah, do you want to see their defense be able to play better? Of course. Of course. But when you got an established core like that, led by a great coach, they're going to get some points. So I'm less concerned. I mean, yeah, were the Eagles able to slow down the Rams and were the Eagles able to slow down the Bengals also for that regard? Absolutely. But they slowed down Patrick Mahomes and Hopkins and Andy Reid. You know, that's a real thing that happened. So, yeah, if the Rams played the Bills in the playoffs, which the only way that could happen would be a Super Bowl, obviously, like, yeah, then you could have some concerns. But if you look at who they're going up against, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Chargers, really only, when we think about it, it's the Ravens who really have the ability to hang a lot of points, to really have that explosive offense. That's the question mark. And the Ravens did do that to the Bills, obviously, as we know. But the Bills' offense wasn't as good as they had been, and we know the Ravens' defense is not that good. So then in that game, the question will be, okay, which offense will be better? Which offense will be able to step up? The Bills' offense or the Ravens' offense? Which defense will be able to minimize some of the damage? The Bills' defense or the Ravens' defense? And again, you're either the better team or you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you're either the better team or you're not. You either beat the Ravens or you don't. But you're going to be less concerned about the Chiefs hanging 44, the Steelers hanging 44. And again, the Steelers have a pretty good offense as well. I don't want to pretend that they're running this kind of Chargers-esque offense where they're winning games, by only scoring like one touchdown a game or whatever the heck the Chargers have been able to do. Like, I'm just trying to highlight that not every offense is going to be able to be as explosive and dynamic as the Rams. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of an overreaction to call it a bad sign. I think it was a bad game, especially defensively. And I think it was a little concerning, but not this, like, bad sign omen of, like, uh-oh, we're in trouble moving forward. I do not see it that way. Because just a few games, we've seen plenty of games when the Bills defense was able to step up and come up big. And I think they'll be able to continue to do that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Buffalo Bills loss on Sunday? I can't believe we're still talking about this, but I guess we still have to put it in context as the week goes on. What do you guys all think? Do you think this is a bad sign, a bad game? Do you think the Bills are in trouble moving forward? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.